The law of attraction, how it really works. The untold truth about the law of attraction. This will change your mind forever. Have you ever wondered why, even though you want to change, your life seems stuck in the same place? Have you tried using the law of attraction, phrases, and positive thinking, but nothing really happens? I'm going to reveal a little-known secret about the power of the subconscious mind, the true engine of your reality. In this video, inspired by the teachings of Bob Proctor, you'll discover how to reprogram your mental paradigm, raise your vibration, and transform your internal frequency to finally manifest abundance, prosperity, and success consistently. Stay with me until the very last second, because what I'm about to reveal could change everything you believe about manifestation and personal development. 1. What's really attracting everything that happens in your life? Have you ever stopped to wonder why certain patterns seem to repeat themselves in your life, as if there were an invisible force pushing you toward the same results, even when you try to change? Maybe you've tried positive thinking, visualizing, and affirming, but in the end, everything returns to square one. The truth is, there's an explanation for this. And it's closer than you think. There's a force operating constantly, relentlessly, whether you're aware of it or not. It's the law of attraction. But not as most people teach. What you'll understand now is the true mechanism behind it, and why your reality continues to reflect something deeply rooted within you. Stop thinking of the law of attraction as a request to the universe. It doesn't respond to what you desire, but to what you vibrate, to what you feel. It reacts to the frequency you emit with your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. It's like a radio station. You only hear what you're tuned into. No matter how much you want to hear happy music, if your frequency is tuned to a painful station, that's what will play in your life. And here's the first point that many overlook. What defines your vibration is not what you consciously think, but what's programmed into your subconscious. That's right. There's a mental programming at work behind every decision, every thought, and every result you manifest. And this programming didn't start now. It goes back a long way, to your childhood. When you were little, your mind was completely open, like fertile soil, absorbing everything around it. Words, emotions, traumas, beliefs, examples. All of this went straight to your subconscious and formed something that today controls 95% of your life. This invisible structure has a name: paradigm. And until you change this paradigm, nothing really changes. That's why, even when you try to think differently, something inside you resists. It feels like there's a force pulling you back to the same place. This force is your conditioning, your old pattern. And it's what's determining the type of energy you're emitting, and consequently, what you're attracting. You may even desire abundance, but if your paradigm is vibrating scarcity, the universe responds with more limitations. No matter how much you study or work, the results remain the same, until you change this invisible programming. Now I want you to stop for a moment and think, what patterns have been repeating themselves in your life? What results do you constantly attract, even unintentionally? These answers aren't found in external circumstances. They're within your mind. And understanding this is the first step to turning the key. In the next episodes, you'll discover how to identify your paradigm, how to break this invisible cycle, and reprogram your mind to align with the life you desire and deserve. But for now, take note of this phrase: you don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. Reflect on this. Go back and listen again, because this is the starting point for everything that follows. 2. What is vibration and why it controls your reality? Imagine for a moment that you could see your body through an infrared camera in a completely dark room. What you would see wouldn't just be flesh and bones, but a glowing, pulsating form in constant motion. Because this is the truth. You are energy. Living energy, vibrating all the time at a specific frequency. Nothing in the universe is still. Everything vibrates. Everything pulses. Everything is in constant motion, including you. And this vibration isn't just a physical phenomenon. It's the language that communicates to the universe who you are and what you're ready to receive. Vibration is the bridge between what you feel and what you manifest. It's the magnetic field that determines what comes into your life, or not. And here's the game-changing point. You only attract what matches your current frequency. In other words, you might want more money, more love, better health. But if your vibration is aligned with fear, doubt, or scarcity, that's exactly what you'll attract more of. It's like trying to hear a radio station while your dial is tuned to the wrong frequency. No matter how loud you shout or how much you wish, The music only changes when you change the frequency. But where does this frequency come from? It isn't just generated by your surface thoughts. Vibration is born from the combination of thought and emotion. What you think might start the engine, but what you deeply feel sustains the vibration you emit. Feeling is what activates the energetic field you carry. And once again, we return to the central point, that feeling is controlled most of the time by your unconscious paradigm, a hidden structure that causes you to repeat behaviors, emotions, and reactions without even noticing. That's why you may feel motivated for a few days, excited about a new plan, and then everything collapses. Because you're trying to shift your vibration through willpower, without reprogramming what's really controlling your emotional foundation. And here's an important warning: negative feelings aren't just bad emotions. They are signals that you're vibrating at a frequency that will bring you more of what you don't want. Anxiety, anger, guilt, envy, resentment. All of these emit energy that shapes your reality. And the opposite is also true. Gratitude, peace, enthusiasm, and faith generate powerful frequencies of positive attraction. Now pause for a moment and feel. What vibration are you carrying right now? Don't think, feel. Your body reveals everything. If you feel tightness in your chest, tension, fear, or resistance, there's a vibration that needs to be transformed. And that doesn't happen by ignoring what you feel, but by learning to use your emotion as a compass to adjust your internal frequency. Because when you change your vibration, you change your reality. And it all starts from within. In the next episodes, you'll learn how your subconscious becomes the guardian of your vibration, how your beliefs shape your emotions, and what you can do to realign your energy field with the life you truly desire. But for now, begin to observe your emotions not as weaknesses, but as frequency indicators. They're trying to show you exactly where you are, and what's coming next. 3. The divided mind. How your thoughts are fighting your subconscious. Have you ever caught yourself saying, "I want to change," but deep down, felt like something was pulling you back to the same place? As if there were an invisible force preventing you from moving forward, even when you're trying with all your might. This isn't a lack of discipline or laziness. It's called a clash between the conscious and subconscious minds. And this silent war happens every day, sabotaging your results, your progress, and your manifestations. Your mind is divided into two main areas, the conscious and the subconscious. The conscious is the logical, analytical, rational part. It's with it that you dream, plan, and decide. The subconscious, on the other hand, is emotional, automatic, and incredibly powerful. It stores all the beliefs, traumas, memories, and patterns you've absorbed since the first days of life. And here's the detail that changes everything. The subconscious governs 95% of your actions, reactions, and vibrations. In other words, you may even consciously want to experience something new. But if your subconscious is programmed to repeat the old, it will win, every time. And here arises the dilemma. How can you change your life if most of your decisions are being made by a hidden, invisible, and automated system? The answer lies in understanding that your subconscious works like the soil of a fertile land. It accepts everything that is planted, without question. The problem is that, as a child, you didn't choose what was planted. Everything was absorbed automatically. Negative words, fears, scarcity, limits, comparisons. All of this has become your default programming, your paradigm. That's why when you try to affirm something positive today, like "I am prosperous," you feel discomfort, doubt, or even irony. Because your subconscious mind doesn't believe it, yet. And this internal conflict is what's keeping you stuck. You think of a new path with your conscious mind, but when you try to get excited about this idea, your subconscious resists, rejects, and repels you. Because leaving the familiar zone is uncomfortable. And the subconscious loves comfort. Even if that comfort is pain. Yes, it prefers familiar pain to unfamiliar pleasure. And that's why most people live in repetitive cycles. They change their thoughts, but they don't change the feelings that sustain their internal programming. Thinking differently isn't enough. You need to feel differently. Now think honestly, how many times have you tried to change a habit, a belief, or a result, and returned to the same pattern? How many promises made at midnight have dissolved by morning? This happens because the old paradigm is still in control. And as long as it's operating, any new thought will be automatically sabotaged. But the good news is that this can be reprogrammed. The mind is plastic, changeable, transformable. But it requires technique, repetition, and directed emotion. In the next chapters, you will learn how to access the subconscious in a practical way, how to use feelings to your advantage, and how to break the mental commands that are sabotaging your vibration. For now, reflect. What phrases do you repeat mentally every day? And more importantly, what emotions do they carry within you? That's where the power, or the prison, lies. For the true power of emotion, the language the universe listens to. Have you ever noticed how the universe seems to respond more to your feelings than to your thoughts? Have you noticed that, even when you say everything's fine, if you feel fear or insecurity deep down, that's what continues to manifest in your life? There's a reason for this. Emotion is the language the universe understands. Thought is the command. But emotion is the energy that moves everything. It's like the fuel behind every attraction. And here's what no one told you. It's not enough to think positively. You have to feel positively. Emotion is the link between the conscious and subconscious. Everything you feel intensely enters directly as programming in your internal system. You can even repeat an affirmation 1,000 times, but if it's not charged with true feeling, the subconscious won't accept it. It responds to what's real, what pulses, what vibrates. That's why many try to apply the law of attraction with words alone, but are frustrated because they don't see results. The law doesn't respond to what you say. It responds to what you emanate. And here's one of the most powerful secrets. If you want to change your reality, start by changing how you feel every day. Emotions like gratitude, love, enthusiasm, and trust put your mind and body at a higher frequency, and that elevation changes everything. Because you begin to tune in to experiences, people, and opportunities that vibrate at that same frequency. It's not magic. It's physics. Vibration attracts similar vibration. You don't attract what you desire. You attract what resonates with your internal state. And the opposite is also true. Emotions like anger, resentment, fear, and guilt lower your vibration. They make you attract more of what you don't want. And worse, they reinforce negative programming in your subconscious. It's as if with each intense negative emotion, you engrave more deeply the limiting beliefs that already exist within. That's why living with a closed heart is like walking blindfolded. You repeat patterns without understanding why. Because, deep down, you're sending signals that are contrary to what you truly want to experience. Now, stop and observe. What emotions are you harboring in your daily life? What feelings dominate your morning, your evening, your relationships, your silent thoughts? If you want to shift your frequency, start monitoring these emotions. Use gratitude as a starting point. Stop, breathe, and connect with something you appreciate right now. Feel it, don't just think it. Because when you feel it, you tune in. And when you tune in, you begin to attract something new. In the next chapters, we'll explore practical tools to raise your emotional vibration, break the cycle of self-sabotage, and activate the energy field of abundance. But for now, try this. Feel deep gratitude for something you already have. It doesn't matter what it is. Really feel it. And notice what begins to change. 5. The paradigm, the real invisible enemy. There's a silent force, hidden deep within your mind, that dictates everything you feel, think, do, and attract. It acts like an invisible autopilot, guiding your life toward the same patterns, the same cycles, the same results. This force has a name, paradigm. And unless you recognize how much it influences every aspect of your existence, you'll remain trapped in a maze with no way out, believing you're in control, when in reality, you're simply replaying an old mental program. The paradigm is a set of deeply rooted beliefs stored in your subconscious. It's built from early childhood, shaped by everything you heard, saw, felt, and witnessed. Every time someone said, "Money is hard to earn, love hurts," or "life is unfair," a seed was planted. And that seed became a pattern. Now, even if you consciously want something new, it's the paradigm that controls the vibration you emit. And if that vibration doesn't match your desire, you'll keep attracting what you already have, not what you want. Here's the most dangerous part. The paradigm disguises itself. It shows up as "that's just my opinion, I've always been like this," or "that doesn't work for me." But all of these are echoes of old conditioning, voices that were installed without your consent and that now govern your emotions, behaviors, and results. It's like trying to drive with the handbrake on. You may press the gas, but you're not going anywhere. And unless you reprogram that internal system, any self-development technique will only offer temporary motivation. Here's what's most striking. Paradigms don't respond to logic. You can study, take courses, read all the books, But if you don't change the emotional root of what's installed within you, you'll stay stuck with the same results. That's why highly intelligent people, with degrees and credentials, can still struggle with low self-esteem, debt, or toxic relationships. Information doesn't change a paradigm. Repeated emotion does. And that is the key to real transformation. Do you want to thrive? To live in abundance, peace, and fulfillment? Then you must go deeper than the surface. You have to access the core. Rewrite the mental code operating behind everything you do. Because that code defines your vibration, and your vibration, as we've seen, defines what you attract. If your paradigm vibrates lack, no amount of positive thinking will be enough. If it vibrates rejection, no confidence technique will last. True transformation must happen from the inside out, in the right place. In the next chapters, we'll uncover how the paradigm is formed, how it influences you without you even realizing, and more importantly, how to start replacing it in a conscious, practical, and lasting way. But for now, start to observe. What ideas do you repeat automatically? What beliefs do you defend without knowing if they're even yours? The key to your transformation begins there. 6. How to change your paradigm and reprogram the subconscious mind. Now that you understand what a paradigm is and how it silently controls your life, one question becomes crucial. How do you change it? How do you break free from years of emotional and mental conditioning that keep you repeating the same patterns over and over again? The answer is not in willpower or isolated efforts to think differently. Real change happens when you reprogram your subconscious mind, with method, consistency, and emotion. Yes, there is a path. And it begins by replacing the old with the new over and over again, until the new becomes automatic. The first step is active awareness. You must observe the thoughts and reactions that come up during your day. Every time a limiting belief appears, like I can't, this isn't for me, or it's too hard, stop. Acknowledge it. Don't fight it, just notice it. Simply becoming aware already begins to weaken the power of the pattern. It's like turning on the light in a dark room. Awareness is the beginning of liberation. Because you can only change what you can see. The second step is emotional repetition of a new pattern. It's not enough to repeat cold, mechanical affirmations. You must load these new ideas with real emotion. Every time you say, I am prosperous, feel what it means to be prosperous. See yourself living that life. Breathe like someone who's already succeeded. Walk like someone who has already conquered. The subconscious doesn't understand words, it understands emotion. And the more intensely you feel, the faster your mind will accept this new idea as truth. Third step, environment and frequency. You need to feed your mind with content, people, and experiences that support this new paradigm. That means videos, books, music, conversations, places, everything that vibrates in the frequency of who you want to become. Repetition, repetition, and more repetition. The old paradigm was installed this way, the new one will be too. And don't be fooled, resistance will show up. Your system will try to pull you back. But that's when you must stay firm. Persistence is what turns reprogramming into reality. Finally, use the power of sleep in your favor. The minutes before you fall asleep are the direct doorway to the subconscious. At that moment, your relaxed mental state allows new ideas to sink in more easily. Repeat your affirmations then. Visualize your new self. Feel as if it's already real. Sleep with that vibration. And when you wake up, reconnect with it. Waking up in the right state is like sending out a vibrational command to the universe during the very first moments of your day. In the next few minutes, we'll go to the final stage. How to live in harmony with this new frequency, how to maintain this state daily, and what to expect when the change begins to manifest. But for now, just begin. Choose one affirmation that represents the life you want. Write it. Repeat it. Feel it. Live it. The new paradigm is born from the daily decision to be the new you. 7. You attract what you are. How to live on the frequency of your fulfilled desire. The moment of truth has arrived. After everything revealed so far, there is one inescapable conclusion. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are. The universe doesn't respond to empty desires. It responds to authentic frequencies. Your outer life is merely an accurate reflection of what you vibrate in the silence of your inner world. It's not about how much you want something. It's about how much you've become that something. It's about being before having. Feeling before seeing. living internally before manifesting externally. And now you have a clear choice. Continue trying to force changes with your logical mind, repeating efforts that don't sustain transformation, or take full responsibility for your frequency and choose to vibrate as if you were already experiencing everything you desire. This is more than wishful thinking. It's a shift in identity. You're not here to ask. You're here to co-create. It's no longer a question of if it will happen. It's a matter of aligning with a version of yourself that is already living this, because it already exists. This is the essence of the law of attraction, becoming the magnet that pulls the reality you desire. And that magnet is you. What you feel daily, what you believe deeply, what you imagine clearly, what you speak with intention, all of this builds the frequency you inhabit. And in this universe, frequency is destiny. Those who vibrate in fear attract more fear. Those who vibrate in gratitude attract abundance. Those who vibrate in lack live in scarcity. There's no escaping this. Vibration is the cause. Reality is the effect. So the question remains, are you willing to live as if your desire has already been fulfilled? Are you willing to embrace this new identity, think as it thinks, feel as it feels, act as it acts? Because when you enter this frequency, something magical happens. You no longer need to chase what you desire. It starts chasing you. Ideas arrive, opportunities reveal themselves, doors open. Not by chance, but by attunement. You've made it this far, and that says a lot. Few do. Few choose to dive so deep. But you chose. Now is the time to take a step further. Not just learn, but live. Live as if it were already real. Feel as if it were already yours. Walk with the certainty of someone who already possesses it. And you will realize that the universe cannot resist a mind aligned with your desire. It responds. It delivers. It mirrors. From today on, everything changes. Because you change. And when you change, everything changes with you.